Alright, so this video is going to be very different from the typical videos that I usually put out. Whenever I talk about a game that isn't Dead by Daylight, I usually always compare it to Dead by Daylight because the only games I talk that are not Dead by Daylight are 4v1s, what Dead by Daylight is. But this game, despite being a 4v1, is not a game that I'm going to compare to Dead by Daylight. In fact, this game is its own beast that I figured deserved its own video. Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed was developed by IllFonic. Now, in my Texas Chainsaw Massacre video, I made the mistake of saying that Friday the 13th was developed by Gun Media. That's why I was so excited for the Texas Chainsaw game, because it also had the Gun name attached to it. Turns out Friday the 13th was developed by IllFonic. So was Predator Hunting Grounds, and so is Ghostbusters. Normally I would not have purchased this game, but seeing as how it was developed by IllFonic and it was a 4v1, I decided, you know what, let me take a jab at it, spent $40 on it, and I booted it up. Now I've been playing this game for maybe about 2-3 days, and I'm now making this video, and I want to talk about it, talk about what I like about it, talk about what I don't like about it, and whether or not people who enjoy Dead by Daylight or 4v1s or people who like IllFonic should purchase this game, because despite this game receiving generally good reviews, there's not a whole ton of people playing it, and there's not a whole ton of people talking about it. So in this game, you get to be a Ghostbuster. You get to create your own character, and you get to go bust ghosts in various locations with the proton pack and PKE meter and teammates and the whole shebang. You can also be the ghost and haunt buildings and fight against the busters. Those are the two sides, and there's only a handful of maps. Ghostbusters will enter the location and will be forced to find the ghost via PKE meter readings, and ghosts will have to run around and haunt objects and scare civilians in order to raise the building haunt level. Once the building haunt level reaches 100, this ghost has to survive for a certain amount of time, and then the ghost will win. If the Ghostbusters are able to trap the ghost and capture it successfully, then the Ghostbusters win. However, ghosts have multiple lives spread across different rifts that are hidden across the map. If a ghost is captured in a trap, one rift will be taken away and the ghost will respawn. However, Ghostbusters can find these hidden rifts and destroy them to decrease the amount of times that the ghost can revive. Busting the ghost after getting rid of all 3 rifts will cause the ghost to fully be captured, and the Ghostbusters will win the match. The ghost can haunt objects that cause them to move and raise the building's haunt level, as well as having various abilities that help them get out of sticky situations, all revolving around slime and slowing down the busters. Not to mention, this game can actually be played offline with bots, and the bots actually work pretty well. The bot busters can sometimes carry you through games, and the AI ghosts, while not particularly threatening, can still cause the game to be pretty fun. However, you will see the gameplay speed increase when playing online, as since real people are behind the controllers, a lot more chaos ensues. The main gameplay loop and the online aspect are all wrapped around a single player story that takes place in its initial hub, which is the firehouse. This story is not the most interesting thing about the game, but definitely helps add a sense of progression to an otherwise pretty simplistic multiplayer experience. But that's all the game is. That's what I've experienced so far. Is the game good? Do I enjoy the game? Ghostbusters is very interesting. Upon day 1 launch day, I was faced with pretty annoying bugs. Upon playing the game and upon watching cutscenes, the audio would basically never play. When the audio eventually did play, it played for about a second, then cut out a second afterwards. Sometimes you'd only be able to hear the character's voice. Sometimes you'd only be able to hear the music. Sometimes the voice would actually be desynced from the animation. Sometimes the animation wouldn't even play.
Based on the fact that you're 15 minutes late for your orientation, I'll assume you've already...
Love Ray like a brother. Welcome, kid. Happy to have you on the team. I may sign the checks, but don't go around calling me boss if you have...
That's me. Ray? Ray?
Go ahead, this is Ray.
Is there someone there with you? Let me guess. The new recruit is there with you? Ray, you gotta let them get to work. All trainees report directly to the firehouse, remember? Over.
Well, that's our time. Good talk.
And this carried through everything, even into gameplay. Sometimes you would be forced to talk to a character but have no idea what they're saying, meaning that subtitles were practically paramount. And also, if you purchased this game on launch day, you couldn't actually play it. You could only play AI games because the online didn't work. But thankfully they released a patch and the game works pretty good now. There's still a couple audio, desync issues and audio cuts, but they are nowhere near as bad as how it was. I actually find myself enjoying the Ghostbuster gameplay a little bit more than the Ghost, mainly because running around the map, trying to hunt the ghost, and trying to maintain civilian sanity is a lot more interesting to me than running around haunting a bunch of inanimate objects and getting into a bit of tussles along the way. That being said, the gameplay as the Ghost I find to be a lot more chaotic and a lot more stressful because having 4 Ghostbusters hit you all with proton packs and slowly seeing your inevitable demise as you're dragged into a ghost trap can be very life-changing. However, I do think that Ghost gameplay is a lot more satisfying. Being able to scare civilians out of the map and seeing your building haunt ever so slightly raise, and then those big jumps when you fully haunt a room is some of the best feelings I've had in this game so far. Hitting every buster with your ultimate and then watching them sit as they are practically useless and slimed as their one lone wolf teammate rushes across the map is a feeling that, can't really be recreated when playing as a Buster. That's not to say that playing as a Buster doesn't have its moments, but Ghost gameplay is a lot more chaotic, and people who are in the mood for a more fast-paced kind of feeling should definitely check out Ghost. Now, despite me saying that, Ghost gameplay can tend to be a lot more tedious than Buster gameplay because the early game is very slow as the Ghost. That's when you're first starting out, that's when you're first haunting objects, that's when you're first scaring civilians. Things don't really pop off until you've had a couple tangos with the Busters, but once things do pop off, then the game starts to get a lot more fast paced and you start trying to hide from the Ghostbusters, or you start trying to scare civilians while the Ghostbusters are talking to them. You can get some pretty nasty plays off as Ghost if you try and be a lot more sneaky than what the game expects you to be. Busters can also find various mushrooms and fungi scattered across the map. These don't offer any gameplay benefits, but do give the player some extra points and also add to a collection in the main hub. These really don't serve any purpose, but at least they make a nice sound when you pick them up. As the player levels up as a Buster, they will receive various upgrades to their equipment, and these upgrades can have both benefits and also negatives depending on what they are. Some upgrades are really good at controlling the tether, while other upgrades make the pack overheat more. Some upgrades for the PKE meter make detecting the ghost easier but make it harder to find rifts, and so on and so forth. Ghosts don't have any direct upgrades, but as you do gain XP, you will end up unlocking more ghosts and different skins. Each ghost has a different set of abilities, but in order to unlock all of them, you have to have played the game for quite a long time. But yeah, overall, I've been having a lot of fun with Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. I think it's a fresh, unique take on the 4v1 genre, and as a licensed game belonging to a bigger franchise, it's one of the better ones, honestly. I do think this game is severely underrated, and a lot of people have kind of just let it fly under their radar. So if you like 4v1s and you like a different take on them, I highly suggest Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. I've been having a ton of fun with it, and I'm very excited to see where they go with it from now on. Just a couple of side notes before the video ends. Yeah, I've been playing Dead by Daylight. I've been enjoying the Halloween event. It's pretty cool. That's pretty much all that's been happening. But yeah, I just really want to talk about this game. I think it's really good. I think a lot of people are, just not paying attention to it. Yeah, go test this game. Go look at this game. Play this game. I love this game. I need more people to play the game.